The liver. Meet the heavyweight champion of organ regeneration. Unlike most organs, the liver can literally grow back after significant damage. Slice away a portion, and the remaining tissue kicks into repair mode. Scientists have been amazed for decades. This isn't just healing. It's almost like biology's reset button. The liver has a main team called hepatocytes, normally dormant, that spring into action after injury. They start dividing, repairing DNA, and boosting energy production to replace lost tissue. Another backup squad exists, liver progenitor cells, or oval cells. These cells can become either hepatocytes or bile duct cells, depending on what's needed. When the liver is injured, these progenitors multiply and fill gaps the main cells can't handle on their own. Immune cells also join the party, releasing signals and growth factors that either speed up or fine-tune the regeneration. The result? Even if up to 70% of your liver is removed, it can grow back to full size over weeks. Most people never realize how remarkable it is until they read the science behind it. In the world of regenerative organs, the liver truly takes the crown. Skin. Let's talk about the organ you see every day but probably take for granted, your skin. The outer layer, the epidermis, is constantly renewing itself, replacing dead or damaged cells without you even noticing. Deep in your skin live stem cells, the decision makers. Normally, these cells are dormant, but when activated, they flip a genetic switch that sets off a cascade of events. Some stem cells self-renew, making copies of themselves for future use. Others differentiate, transforming into mature skin cells that form your protective barrier. It's a delicate balance. Too much of one or the other, and the skin's integrity suffers. The process is surprisingly complex. Over 6,000 genes are involved, turning off stem cell division while activating genes that strengthen your skin's barrier. A constantly refreshed outer layer that shields you from germs, UV rays, and water loss, all while keeping your skin looking healthy. This regeneration happens throughout your life. Minor cuts, scrapes, and burns are repaired as part of this system. Even though your skin ages, this daily cellular turnover is your body's built-in repair kit. Bone. The unsung heroes keeping you upright and moving. But they're more than just scaffolding. They're living tissue with an incredible ability to repair and regenerate. Inside your bones lies bone marrow, a powerhouse full of stem cells, the body's raw materials. Bone marrow has a big job. It produces red blood cells to carry oxygen, white blood cells to fight infections, and platelets to help your blood clot when you get a cut. Without this constant regeneration, your body wouldn't just fall apart. It wouldn't survive. The magic happens thanks to growth factors, proteins that signal stem cells when to divide, change, and mature. They orchestrate a complex process, making sure the right cells appear at the right time. When you break a bone, these signals ramp up, guiding cells to repair the damage and rebuild the structure, often stronger than before. Even better, your bones are constantly remodeling themselves throughout life. Tiny repairs happen every day without you noticing, keeping your skeleton strong and resilient. Bones aren't just passive structures. They're living, regenerating organs with their own internal repair system. Intestines. If you think your gut is just a long tube for food, think again. The intestinal lining is one of the fastest regenerating tissues in your entire body. In fact, the intestinal epithelium replaces itself roughly every 4 to 5 days. Basically a full makeover more than once a week. Deep in tiny pockets called crypts, stem cells act as the managers of this cellular assembly line. They produce new cells that migrate upward to the surface of finger-like projections called villi. As the cells reach the tip, they're shed into the intestinal lumen in a process called apoptosis, making room for the next batch of cells. Alongside these workers, Paneth cells hang out at the bottom of the crypts, providing support and protection, making sure the stem cells do their job properly. This rapid turnover is why your intestines are resilient to everyday wear and tear, from acidic foods to bacterial invaders. Even minor injuries to the gut lining heal quickly thanks to this constant renewal system. Endometrium. Let's talk about one of the most impressive regenerative tissues in the human body, the endometrium. This is the functional lining of the uterus, and it's basically a monthly miracle in action. Throughout a woman's reproductive years, this tissue goes through cycles of growth, shedding, and regeneration, orchestrated by the hormones estrogen and progesterone. Every month, the endometrium thickens in preparation for a potential pregnancy. If fertilization doesn't happen, the top layer sheds during menstruation, and then the repair process kicks in, completely scarless and precise. The regeneration isn't just skin deep. Epithelial cells, glands, and blood vessels all remodel themselves, guided by a delicate balance of inflammation, coagulation, and fibrinolytic processes. What's even more remarkable is how resilient this tissue is. Minor injuries, hormonal fluctuations, or even medical procedures rarely stop the cycle of repair. The endometrium isn't just part of reproduction, it's a masterclass in regeneration, showing the body's incredible ability to rebuild complex tissue continuously, efficiently, and with precision. Lungs. Breathing is something most of us take for granted, but your lungs are quietly amazing. These spongy organs don't just move air, They're capable of repairing themselves after injury, infection, or stress. While adult lungs usually sit quietly, doing their day-to-day work, they spring into action when needed. Stem and progenitor cells in the lungs can re-enter the cell cycle, replacing damaged tissue and helping the lungs recover. For a long time, scientists thought the lungs had limited repair capacity and were prone to scarring or fibrosis after injury. But research shows that the lungs are surprisingly regenerative. Multiple stem cell populations exist throughout the respiratory system, each with its own ability to respond to different types of injury. This spatial and temporal variety is part of what makes lung repair so efficient. That said, if the regenerative process is disrupted due to chronic illness, severe infection, or environmental damage, scarring can occur. But under normal conditions, your lungs bounce back remarkably well. Even when part of a lung is lost, such as after surgery for cancer or trauma, the remaining tissue adapts and the lungs compensate over time. Peripheral nerves. Here's one you might not think about often, but your peripheral nerves are surprisingly resilient. These are the nerves outside your brain and spinal cord that connect your central nervous system to your muscles, skin, and organs. When they get injured, unlike central nerves, they actually have the ability to regenerate and reconnect to their target tissues. After an injury, Schwann cells, the support cells of peripheral nerves, spring into action. They multiply, elongate, and line the pathways for the damaged axons to grow back along. At the same time, they switch gene programs, downregulating myelin-associated genes and turning on growth-promoting genes, including ones that produce neurotrophic factors. These signals guide the injured nerve fibers to their original destinations. Regeneration isn't instant, and it can take weeks or months, depending on the location and severity of the injury. During this time, function gradually returns. Patients may notice tingling or weakness before full sensation or movement comes back. Physical therapy can help retrain muscles and improve recovery outcomes. Even when nerves are cut or severely damaged, the peripheral system has an impressive ability to compensate. Nearby nerve fibers may take over some function, and the body adapts to lost or slowed connections. Kidneys. Here's one that might surprise you. Your kidneys aren't just filtering machines, they can actually regenerate. For a long time, scientists thought kidney cells stopped reproducing once the organ was fully formed. Turns out that's not true. Your kidneys are quietly repairing and renewing themselves throughout your life. These organs produce specialized kidney cells all the time. When acute injury occurs, these cells get a signal through specific cellular pathways to start dividing and replacing damaged tissue. It's a slow process. Tubular cells take a few weeks to fully exit their resting phase, but it works. Over time, this regenerative ability helps the kidneys maintain their filtering and balancing functions even after damage. Even if one kidney is removed due to donation, trauma, or disease, the remaining kidney adapts. It enlarges and increases its filtering capacity, a process called compensatory hypertrophy. People with a single kidney live completely normal lives, though they're encouraged to stay hydrated, maintain healthy blood pressure, and get regular checkups. Kidneys are far more dynamic than most people realize.